Hello, and welcome to my talk about my experience with the medical center on a cruise ship. I was on the MSC Presoscia in February when I came back acutely sick. For those that don't know me, I retired in 2017, sold everything, bought a motorhome, and travel 100% of the time now. Up until 2022, I traveled through the US in the RV from coast to coast. In 2022, I started to add cruising to my travel adventures. I have done 26 cruises since then. I am not the best storyteller, but here goes. A little bit of background. I have done 26 cruises in just over the past 2 years. Up until December 24, I never took the travel insurance. I guess I rolled the dice and never had a problem. We got to 2024 and I was diagnosed with cancer. They caught it early and my prognosis is good. My treatments ended December 19th, 2024. I booked a last-minute deal for a Christmas cruise leaving December 22nd. When I was diagnosed, I said to myself, I have rolled the dice long enough and I will buy an annual travel policy. I also had booked 6 more cruises before I purchased the travel policy. Here's my problem. Insurance. Travel insurance, actually, all insurance is a tricky thing. The devil is always in the details. I started shopping around, and the problem is there is wording in these policies that they do not cover pre-existing medical conditions if the policy is purchased after the travel purchase. I had 7 cruises coming up, and that policy would not cover for me. I did some more research, and I found a health-only policy that would cover me from day one, and it would have a $200 deductible. That's US dollars. Sold. I can deal with a $200 deductible should I get sick, is my thought. I was mainly concerned with the health side of the insurance for this trip. I also bought the other policy as that would cover other cruises I would purchase in the future and cover health and travel costs. The cost for the travel policy only through Allianz was $280 US. That is not the cheapest policy, it is actually the middle policy. I also bought the medical only policy through Geo Blue, which is a subsidiary of Blue Cross Blue Shield, and that for the year was $159. Onto the ship. Getting sick. I did my 7-day cruise without issue. January 4th, 2025, I boarded in Miami and will be gone for 6 weeks on 4 different cruises. It was wintertime and we were headed to Europe. Most of the time was spent inside with no one out on deck. I understand comments now of how cruises can be a petri dish. The night of January 22nd, a few weeks into the cruise, I started to feel unwell, mainly congested. I have allergies, and I figured my allergies were acting up and started a stronger allergy medication. The next day, my symptoms worsened, and by bedtime, I started running a fever. I took some allergy meds and made it through the night. 9 a.m., the medical center opened, and I went down there. Getting treatment. I have nothing but good things to say about the staff in the medical center. They were knowledgeable and with a great bedside manner. They took my history and checked my symptoms. They first ran a COVID and flu test. Both came back negative. The doc said if my symptoms do not get better in 48 hours, they would also run a pneumonia test. They discussed the treatment and I agreed. First, they gave me a nebulizer to try and open up my lungs and help to avoid pneumonia. They gave me an expectorant cough medicine to help with the cough. They also said to take an antibiotic along with Tylenol for the fever, aches, and pains. I asked if it was contagious, and they said no. I did not have to quarantine. I was down there for, I believe, 2.5 hours. Getting better. The rest of that day, I spent most of it in my cabin. It was nice. I had a balcony that I could leave the door open with fresh air. You can see a walkthrough of my cabin in the link above. That night, I ate light up in the buffet. I was still running a fever, and it was not a great night to sleep. I believe I slept most of it with the balcony door cracked open, even though it was winter in Europe. In the morning, I was still not feeling great, although I felt better after taking a hot shower for about 30 minutes. I knew the medical center was closing at noon, so I decided to go down again. Heck, I had insurance. They saw me right away. The doc said I needed to give the medications some more time to work. If I did not feel better by tomorrow, I should come back and see them. I was there for maybe 30 minutes. That night, the fever broke, and I started to feel much better. The cough took a full 2 weeks to be gone. My diagnosis was acute upper respiratory infection and acute bronchitis. The bill. I was expecting the bill to be $1,000, if not more. I've heard horror stories about cruise ships. To my surprise, it was only 194 euros. Heck, they didn't even charge me for the second visit. I have heard so many nightmares of folks going to ships, medical centers being billed for thousands of dollars. Go figure. The charge went on my ship account, and I paid it upon disembarkation. Kudos to MSC for not taking advantage as some others have been. Filing the medical claim with insurance. I submitted the bill to both insurance companies. GeoBlue had a $200 deductible, so I figured it would all go to that, and it did. Allianz paid me the full amount with a deposit directly into my bank account. I was all done in a few days after my submission. The process for both was super simple. I used the app they provided and filled out the information along with uploading a camera picture of the invoice. Final thoughts. Insurance is a personal thing. Does one need it, or do you want to roll the dice? In my opinion, for the amount of money it cost me for an annual policy, I was silly not to have purchased it sooner. I was fortunate not to have gotten sick on all those previous cruises. I will certainly renew it as long as I continue to cruise. I hope you found this useful. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe. It is the one and only way to let me know if I should continue to provide this content. Comment and let me know if you have insurance for cruise travel. I have more coming weekly. Let me know what you liked and what you might want to see. And that's a wrap, folks. Stay healthy out there.